So, I want to have a conversation around Trent Alexander-Arnold and the elephant in the room. Will we or won't we see Trent Alexander-Arnold moved permanently into midfield by Jurgen Klopp? So Sky Sports have put together a group of statistics around Trent's performance against Fulham, and I wanted to just show you guys them, talk through them, and then we'll have a conversation about whether we think Trent is going to be moved into midfield or not. So let's start off with a graphic anyway. And as you can see on the screen there now, Trent had a pretty good game and he topped lots of measurements. So looking at the stats, he had a goal in the game, obviously, which equals first. He had 34 passes in the final third of the pitch, which put him first as well. 10 times he won possession, again, putting him top of the pile. Dribbles, he had 5, again, putting him number 1 in the game. Final third entries, I mean, I don't know where they come up with some of these stats, by the way, or how they're even stats, but here we are. So final third entries, Trent had 26 of them, putting him first as well. Shots in the game, Trent had 4, putting him second. He had 103 touches, again, putting him in second place. 81 passes, second place, and distance covered in the game in kilometres is 11.72, again putting him in second place, with 22 sprints in the game, putting him in third place. So, as you can see, that's the metric at which we're measuring this guy now. But what I want to know is there a need to make that a permanent thing? Should we look at getting Trent Alexander-Arnold into the position, let's say, currently occupied by Dominic Szoboszlai? Or are we likely to see Jurgen Klopp keep up the inverted role that he has at right back, where he drops into midfield and impacts the games? So I have to say, for me, I've battled back and forth with this over the past couple of months. And it was only really yesterday in the game against Fulham that I came onto the side of maybe this is the right move. If, and this is the important part for me, if we have the right number 6 on the pitch to give Trent the opportunity to really excel in the role. So yesterday what we seen was Wataru Endo brought on, Endo playing pretty high up the pitch, having a really good impact, and that allowed Trent to be more central as well in an advanced area, and we've seen the impact that had. So we know the quality's there from Trent. We now see that the work rate and the graft is there from Trent as well, and as we've all seen, Trent has developed into a leader this season, whether it's the stuff he did in the summer off season. He was over in the Under Armour Performance Academy and stuff, and doing stuff over there. It just feels like Trent's become a more well-rounded player and person over the summer. So right now, I don't want it to happen mid-season, and I've been very consistent on this. I think if we're going to move Trent, we may need a tweaking system. But if we do see him in now, I think the problem we have is who drops out. Because right now, if I was to ask you our best midfield 3, most of you are probably going to go somewhere with McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch. Or maybe you fancy Endo in there. But either way, most of us would kind of have Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, or Szoboszlai and Jones in our preferred midfield in the advanced positions. So if Trent goes in there, is he going to push somebody else out? Are we going to lose the opportunity to maybe get minutes on the pitch for Szoboszlai? But there is a bit of a wild card to this. We know Mohamed Salah is going to the AFCON in January, so we know we're going to have a space on the right wing. So I guess the question I'm posing is that the right time to see Trent put into Szoboszlai's position, move Dominic Szoboszlai onto the right wing while Mo is at the AFCON, and then we'll get to see firsthand what Trent can do, and obviously we'd use Joe Gomez then to fill in the right back role. I think you can make plenty of arguments for that, and it's probably the most comfortable I feel about it, because it wouldn't necessarily see us changing system or losing minutes for the likes of Alexis McAllister, Gravenberch or Szoboszlai. Now, a lot of people are questioning Szoboszlai's form in the last few games, which, again, a little switch up there, a little change could, I don't know, maybe get the spark back in Dominic Szoboszlai's game. I'm warming to Trent into midfield now. You can see how we can impact the game better when he's more central. But I don't want it to be a 6. And that's what worries me. If we put Trent in a defensive midfield position, I feel like we're going to be exposed. I do. And if you look at yesterday, Fulham, I only really realised this when I watched Match of the Day, but 56%, I think, of Fulham's attacks, if you divide our half of the pitch into 3 sections, 56% came down their left-hand side, our right-hand side, and the remaining was kind of split between central and the right. But the predominant amount of attacks were coming on the left-hand side or our right-hand side, which was vacated by Trent. So that kind of opened my eyes a little bit, because I did feel we were doing quite well. But to see Fulham so positively attack that area, because remember, their defenders have to keep track of Mohamed Salah as well. So they were able to do that because they had a very good player down that left-hand side. So I'm worried about the midfield if we put Trent in the defensive midfield position. I can't lie about that. But if we move him to a Szoboszlai's position and Gomez is at right back, I feel a lot more comfortable that we'll be able to get the performances out of Trent that will impact us in a positive way. And also, I love the little goal scoring touch that we've seen recently from Trent. The comparisons to Steven Gerrard are very clear and very easy for us Liverpool fans to make. But again, it's the celebration, the composure, and the way he does it. When he scored that goal against City and he went up and he went shush, some people didn't like it. I loved it. I absolutely loved every moment of it, because that's what I want him to do. That's what I want him to show what it means. Shut up, know your place. Trent has arrived, and I mean business. And with the Adidas hookup as well, you can see his form getting better. I think the future is bright for Trent, and I think the conversation has moved in such a way now that it's not really a debate anymore. You look at Sky, you listen to Carragher, you listen to Neville, you listen to Roy Keane, you listen to Micah Richards. Everybody just feels like it's a matter of when Trent Alexander-Arnold becomes a full-time midfielder. You've seen the England performances referenced a few times as well. We'll likely see him employed in a midfield role to some extent in the Euros with Gareth Southgate. So my question to the chat and my question to anybody watching is, what do you want to happen with Trent Alexander-Arnold? Is now the right time for him to make that leap into midfield? Or do you think we see out the season with him in the role he's in? Maybe switch him with Joe Gomez, because we can't leave out Joe Gomez in this conversation. Because when Trent gets rested or rotated, as you've seen in pre-season and this season, it's been Joe Gomez that steps in to fulfill that role. So I need to know, can Joe do it long term, or will Trent move in? So it's over to you guys now. I can look through some of the comments already, and I'm initially seeing midfield, but I don't know. And also, one more quick question before I let this segment go. The number 66, does he keep it or does he look to change it? Because a lot of people think it's iconic. I'm old school. I like the older numbers. I like the 1 to 11s. But most people seem to think Trent in midfield, but keeping the number 66. So over to you guys now. Let me know your thoughts. Again, don't forget to drop a like and hit the subscribe button. And I appreciate all of your feedback. We will talk to you soon.